I would call myself a constitutional activist, and I have participated in campaigns. I've participated in town hall meetings, testifying, speaking in opposition countless times for countless bills, and I basically poured my heart into activism, all sorts of activism, since 2013. So although I might not be a famous person, and although I might not have this huge platform, and although I might not make money as an activist, I have definitely sacrificed my time, my energy, and a ton of effort has been poured into activism in the state of California. I'm incredibly passionate about all the work that I do, and I do it with the motivation of just creating change, period. After the V is for Vaccine event, which I thought went pretty well, I decided that I would go to the Occupy event. Down on the car ride down there, I told my friend Jeffrey that I was going to stay away from the exits because my husband was on his only week of vacation, and it was our anniversary the next day. So September 9th, I say I'm not going to go by the exit doors. I don't want to be arrested. There were planned arrests. 2 women were chained to the entry doors of the Capitol. They were planned by the Freedom Angels and I believe Parents United for Kids, but I'm not sure. And then I was unaware of that, obviously, but I later found out. So I saw Erin standing by herself, and she was going to be arrested, and I made a very quick decision, which I regret in some ways, to join her.
If you resist moving from this area or fail to submit to an arrest, necessary force will be used. You may leave this area immediately, please. And to clarify, folks, we want to allow access to the Capitol, so we need you to move away from the doors, allowing access to the Capitol.
Thank you, Mama.
Everyone's been peaceful, and law enforcement has been very professional this entire time. It's been a very peaceful event. We're trying to get here a better angle for you right now. We have another protester here at the door.
Go to the left.
So the second protester is standing at the Run N Street, the Capitol building. She's now being arrested.
Thank you, sister.
So the second protester has been taken into custody. Yep.
There are still 3 more mothers currently in there. Those are the ones that were arrested around 11:30, and those mothers are Erin, Jacqueline, and
Jaslyn.
Jaslyn, and is the SWAT team here for us? Are you serious? Why is he in? Like, police just pulled up and they're in gear. I don't know what they think is happening. We're a bunch of mothers. Maybe they're here for something else, and we'll just drop it at that. But anyways, Jaslyn, Crystal, and Erin are in there right now. Now, we do know that one father was also arrested today during the Senate floor session, and I believe that was around like 3 or 4. So potentially he's in there.
Oh,
U.S. Fugitive Service is here. Well, these guys are fugitives, so that's not us. So what else do people have questions?
Please come out if you're here.
Yes. Anybody, there's plenty of people still over at the Capitol. They should be here right now. We need to be supporting these mothers and the one father. So please come to the Sacramento County Jail immediately.
If you're in Sacramento, please come out. come support the moms that did something for you today. That's always, nice. They put their neck out on the line for everybody. So we need to come and support them.
How do we know how to help with bail? Where do we go?
We don't know. Yeah, hold on one second. So we are raising money for bail. I don't know if we have it yet. I will keep you guys updated. I don't know. I don't have any status on Mike, so I need to get status on him so I can see how much his bail is. If somebody can find out for us and then send me a message, just tell me that you sent me a message first. We do not leave anybody behind. We're going to wait for her. I don't care how long it takes, all of them. So if you guys are in Sacramento, please come out and support the moms who put their ass on the line for you guys. So, we'll let you guys know how we're doing on bail. So far, I think we have someone who offered to pay another mom's bail. So come out, guys. There's no reason why these mothers should be in jail. There's no reason at all. It's not posted. Yes, we found the mom. They're all inside. The 3 are inside. And we're needing the information. We're needing the information from Mike to see how much his bail is. I'll keep you guys updated, okay?
I left that night. There was always people there. Like, I felt like, wow, we're so supported. People want to help us. Money had been raised for our bail, which was revoked, and all these people were like coming up and saying, you're a hero, you're a hero. Freedom Angels being some of them, Denise, Heidi, Tara, Sandra RN, all these people, right? So they said, we're going to take care of it. We'll call you tomorrow. Don't worry about a thing. Everybody is going to, be fundraising for you guys. You won't have to worry about anything. Obviously, that felt good because we were in a financial situation.
Thank you so much. I've been scrolling all day. It was actually pleasant. I'm not fucking locked up in there all fucking day long. I have a baby that's breastfeeding. And this is the bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit. I really did it, but it's like, you guys, it's such a fun. We did nothing but try to protect our babies. We are backed against a wall. We are backed against a wall. I'm coming out of jail, Jazz? Like, seriously? I'm coming out of jail in front of my midwife, my people, my sisters, my husband. What is wrong with this place? I'm so goddamn humiliated, you guys. I'm so... No. You're so proud.
We are so
Hero, Jazz.
You're a hero.
You stood up when other people walked away. You were one of the few that stood to that extent for our baby. No, don't you dare be humiliated by that. No.
They did this, not you.
This is not you. No.
This is on
We can
them.
thank Dan. We can thank Newsom for this. Thanks so much.
This is on Governor Newsom.
This is on all the Democrats that voted for this heinous bill.
All the Democrats who know.
All the
Did
Democrats.
it go through? We didn't get to hear.
Oh, you don't even know.
So this is the beginning.
Yes, and the governor signed it.
But. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
So they didn't call the next day, September 10th, which was my anniversary. They didn't call the day after that, but I kept going back to the Capitol every day, and I was at every vigil. I was helping set up the candles and the pictures and taking videos of it. Me and Mike spoke at one of them. I continued to occupy the Capitol every day after my arrest. I never stopped. So There's that. And eventually, after the Occupy week was over, I think a day after it ended, I got a call from Tara, I believe, and I there was a text thread prior to that, and in the text thread I saw that Stephanie Betzer was included in it, and I had big issues with that because obviously her partner at Parents United for Kids had some part in getting my income taken away, and I know some people have said I'm a liar, that, you know, people from the movement didn't get me fired, but they in fact did, to my understanding, because I have text messages from Shauna saying that I work for a company called Arbonne, which I do not. So Heidi and Tara both called me to let me know that, you know, they work with Stephanie, that she's a part of it, and that, you know, kind of if I want their help, I kind of have to deal with her, and that they assured me that she would not do anything to harm me, and that she only had good intentions, and moving forward, she was just going to be here to help and fundraise for us. And so I kind of had to go with the 7. And that's pretty much the gist of this whole story, is that I never wanted to fracture our movement, and I never wanted to be separate from the other 7. So I agreed to allow those 4 women to do our fundraising. We eventually met the attorney that they presented to us. Those attorneys, you know, I was the only one really that had like a lot of questions as far as where the money was coming from. There was a comment made in the first meeting with the attorneys that our publicity team would handle that, and I laughed and said, who's our publicity team? And they said the Freedom Angels. It was all really ridiculous, but remember, none of us had really been through something like this before, and we didn't know what we were really doing or what we were getting into. So I would consider, you know, at least the ones of us that didn't plan our arrests were under duress. We were just gonna take whatever. After the meeting, I said I would rather take a public defender. I would give $2,500 to Katie Kolbs or somebody who's lost their baby. I don't need a $2,020 or $2,500 lawyer. I didn't think any of us did really. Not even Mike. And so I would have taken a public defender, but nonetheless, we signed our name on the client box under the impression with the verbal agreement that Denise was on speakerphone with the attorney saying that they were going to be the payers. So if you look at the paperwork, which I have screenshots of, the payer line is not signed because it was a verbal phone agreement that took place in front of multiple people, and then the client line, which is where I signed. And ultimately, I didn't need $2,500. I didn't need their help. I didn't ask for their help. And ultimately that wound up coming out in a text thread. So long story short, Wake Sheep starts pointing out the fact that, you know, these women don't have a nonprofit like they claim. And I commented on a post where someone was offended. I saw a comment that they were offended by the visual videos. And so I just made sure that it wasn't me that offended them because I took lots of videos. And the comment disappeared and the thread got confusing. And at some point, I guess I liked a comment that was about Heidi. And I didn't know that. So from that point on, which was in September, Stephanie Fetzer basically sent for me in a message thread that included every person, including Heidi, Tara, and Denise, and all of the other 6, where she basically threatened everyone to remove her private donors, said that she had donors that could take care of all of the expenses, but that she would not be fundraising for me because I commented on this post and I was quote-unquote undermining their efforts. And Denise then followed that up with, you know, I won't work with anybody who, you know, associates with these people or these pages, blah, blah, blah. I stood up for myself and I said, you know, I've asked questions like when Fetzer asked everybody to send in headshot photos for a website. I asked, what's the website? She said, just a little website. I asked multiple times where the donation platform was so I could share it. I never received an answer. We tried to contact our attorneys to find out information. We never heard back from them. They were very non-communicative, and also I feel like the Freedom Angels were as well. So at some point I'm irritated and I'm pissed off that they're threatening to stop fundraising for us when they signed us up for these $14,000 attorneys, and they're telling me who I can talk to and who I can't talk to. It was like everything I foreseen coming was happening, and I was just so frustrated and angry. that, I allowed myself to get involved with these people, specifically Stephanie, and that I allowed my need to keep the movement intact, not fracture it and not separate from the 7 and cause like more fracturing and division. I regret that, because if I would have just went on my own, I think I would have been okay and wouldn't have wanted to quit activism altogether and just be like in this black hole of depression and whatnot. But anyways, Stephanie Duncan basically threatens to pull her private donors. She says just that I should go get my fundraising done by Susan Origin, Brittany Kirsten, and Andrew, and whoever, like the people, like the ilk, I think was the word she used. And said she was no longer going to fundraise for me. And that was in September. Fast forward. So the last time we went to court, it was horrible because I was, made to feel like I needed to apologize to all these people, which let me back up and just say that I did apologize for any confusion about what I commented on Wake Sheep. I did everything they asked, which was like block these people, don't talk to these people, don't comment on this stuff. I did all that. I placated them. I apologized to them. I talked to Tara for 2 hours apologizing, and saying like, sorry, I'm not trying to like undermine your efforts. I just really like don't like dealing with people who threaten to pull things out from underneath me and like wave carrots in front of my face and make me like, basically try to buy my loyalty. I don't like that shit. So then face to face at the last court hearing, I said, apologize to Denise, which she just basically said what to me, like she is like some, I don't even know, and Heidi and everybody, what do I have to do to make sure that the 7 of us stay intact? And, and that was my only concern, was to not further fracture the movement and to not be the one that broke up the 7 because I have asked too many questions and I'm not okay with this private shit going on that involves me and my life and my family. I was asked to send an email where I was explaining, basically placating more and like apologizing to them on paper and saying how, I am, want to work with them and I want their help fundraising, and they were going to think about it and they were going to let me know, and they never did. And, then they asked me to reach out to the attorney and ask for an invoice, which I think they were trying to get me to take responsibility for by saying, how much do I owe you? So I say, how much do the Freedom Angels owe you? And they send me an invoice. I send it to them. Nothing, just crickets. At this point, I'm like almost positive that they're not going to pay this $1,500 that's left over on my account. Granted, all the other 6, except for Mike, are paid in full at this point, except for me. So none of us got to know any of that information, to my understanding. I didn't find out about the platform, the Zelle platform, until after our charges weren't filed. Everything about our case was confusing to me, that we weren't on the docket. We never saw a judge. People were saying we didn't have to go to court, but I insisted on going to court because there were so many unanswered questions. I wasn't going to let these attorneys that I didn't know or didn't trust, like, speak on my behalf. And so I would show up to everything because I wanted to make sure, like, what was going on. And ultimately, I just felt like what was happening was that we're like, I'm like placating the situation because I don't want to be separated from the 7 and cause division. But behind the scenes, I am definitely separate and I am definitely not, in communication with anybody but Mike. And so I just felt very abandoned. I felt very torn between taking the high road or taking the right road, which would be to, tell people the truth. I am certain that if one person who didn't even get actually arrested raised $7,000 in a period of a few days, that the 7 of us made national news, that we were able to raise far greater numbers than that, but I guess we'll never know. When someone would ask on my page, for the fundraising platform, Gabby would come on and say, I'll private message it to you. And I would say, why don't you post it? So I can see, like, I'm one of the 7. It's my court case. It's my arrest. And crickets. And then, people started catching on. It's not rocket science, right? Like, the people who are involved, the arrestees, don't know where the fundraising platform is. Does that not tell you something? That while we're sitting here dealing with our court case, they're making shirts with silhouettes of themselves and flying all over the place?
So, Freedom Angels is a really great email to send it to you if you want to get boots on the ground, because I have help with that. Actually, Heidi is the main responder to those emails. Also, I want to talk to you guys really quick. There were the parents who were arrested in Sacramento on September 9th. We had 7 parents arrested, and we were able, the Freedom Angels, we got some attorneys to take care of them for us. There's legal fees still. People are questions why if they didn't have any charges or they didn't go to court or whatever. Those are people who do not know how the legal system works. These parents were charged with 6 to 7 misdemeanors. Call any attorney on the phone and give them that scenario, and they will give you a price of how much it's going to cost to represent you. Because that attorney has to show up at court, even if the charges were not dropped, but the charges, they weren't looking to charge these parents. However, there were still attorneys who were working behind the scenes, who were talking to the district attorney, who were going to the court to represent them, who was doing the paperwork. That costs money. There is no such thing as free representation. Unless an attorney is doing it pro bono, these parents are being charged to be represented. Anybody who knows about the legal system knows you can't just call an attorney and say, yeah, I have these charges, can you go represent me, and if no charges are filed, can you drop it? That's not how it works. So those parents were charged $2,000 each, which was amazing, because usually it's like $6,000. So we have those parents, we have our friends who still have outstanding bills. So they need like $500. This is the last month to pay it. We need help. This money does not go to me. It does not go to Heidi. It does not go to Tara. Every single dime for this fundraiser for these parents go to the parents, to our friends who put their ass on the line for all of us and who changed the movement to a civil rights movement. Those donations are tax deductible. We can give you a tax ID number so you can write it off. It's the end of the year, December, so you can, get your tax deductible and help us with these parents with their legal fees. This is the last month. So if you want to help us with that, you can email freedomangels@protonmail.com.
And I think that it's about time that people start realizing that when these self-appointed leaders try to silence people within our movement or give you ultimatums and tell you who you can talk to and who you can't talk to, whoever they say not to listen to, that's probably who you should listen to, because most of the time it's the truth. Most of the time there's facts to back it up. Most of the time it's public knowledge and online. You can find it yourself, but people just choose to be minions. When someone in the movement like myself, who has dedicated years of my life, comes out and tells the truth, I know damn well that all their little minions and followers are going to come and attack me and victim blame. And I'm not a victim. I'm not on this victim shit, but what happened to me isn't okay. And they can say whatever they want to counter. They can say whatever they want, but there is one saving grace I have in this entire situation, and that is Mike fucking Mattingly. So, that is my story. That is what happened. That is the truth. And I'll be damned if I continue to sit back and watch it burn to the ground because self-fulfilling narcissistic assholes want to use this cause for their own selfish gain. Kids are dying. Laws are being passed that are unconstitutional and unlawful. And censorship is rampant. And there are so many things that need to be handled. And none of it's going to get handled when the so-called leaders are not focused on what we're actually doing here and not focused on what everybody wants, you know, speaking for the we when they're speaking for themselves. No, none of these leaders speak for me. I speak for me. None of these leaders should be speaking for all of us. You know, everything belongs to we the people, not they the people, not the Freedom Angels, not one particular group, not Parents United for Kids, not even, you know, Bobby Kennedy and Del Bigtree. We speak for ourselves. Whoever donated money to the 7 of us, thank you. But it didn't go to me. I still owe $1,500 to these attorneys. And the Freedom Angels are actually claiming I owe $2,000 because I kept a $500 gift that I thought was a gift. Nonetheless, you know, we've been in the worst financial situation that we've ever been in. And we're just trying to tug along. I recently got a job. You know, I do want to continue activism. That's the truth of the matter, but I won't continue it in a movement who cannibalizes their own people and treats me like trash that they can just use and throw out. I'm nobody's pawn. I'm not the kibble to this cause. I'm a mom of 4 beautiful children. I'm a mom of a vaccine-injured child. I'm a fucking warrior.